Welcome to episode of You Love Comics. This YouTube show showcases my reasoning, comic hauls, comic speculations, and stuff from my collection. I have an awesome haul for you. I have a couple of new books here, but on top of it, I have a huge pile. I think I have about 48 dollar bin comics to show you. And there's some awesome books in here. Shocked to find some of these in there. They must have got a collection in my local LCS and just put them out, and man, there was some goodies in there, and you're about to see them. I was there. I thought I was just gonna walk in, buy my Deadpool Batman #1 and whatever other book I might have had for the pull list, just graze through the dollar bin real quick. Probably wouldn't be anything in there, and they ended up like almost all the books were like new. Tons of boxes. I was like, what? It was Christmas. So before I get into this amazing haul, or more like Festivus actually, before I get into this amazing haul, do me a favor, hit that like button. You know, helps with that algorithm. More people will see the video. You have any questions, what you see, you like what you see, you want to tell me what you bought this week or whatever, leave a comment. I'll get back to you accordingly. You like these type of videos, comic hauls, comic speculations, comic collections, comic mystery boxes, comic convention hauls, dollar bin hauls, garage sale hauls, mystery boxes, mystery bags, Facebook Marketplace hauls. Well, do me a favor. You're at the right channel. Smash that subscribe button, become part of You Love Comics conversation, smash that bell for notifications. All right, let's get into this. We'll start with this. Deadpool Batman #1. I took a peek inside. Looks like a lot of fun. Really good talent on it, so you know they're taking it seriously. I will say, this is the standard cover. It's not my favorite. I liked some of the others. I mean, I like the Greg Capullo art. I hate the layout. The layout on this is garbage. Like first of all, Batman should have been centered. Deadpool could have been more like turned or whatever. I don't know. It's just the way the logos are. It's not. Whoever designed it, I'm not talking about the artist, not talking about the colorist, like Greg Capullo or anything. I'm talking about the person who laid it out. It looks ploppy plop. Does not look good. But the inside looks cool, and it's first appearance of a new character that either will be just taken as a one-time joke or be used a bunch of times. I don't know. Star Wars with Boba Fett, black, white, and red. I heard there were a bunch of first appearances in it. I figured, why not grab it? I heard Glib Shittos are going to be in it. Bosvarian Pusafet, Jargon Magargan is my favorite Star Wars character, and Big Feet, but it's spelled BYGGFYTTEE. I don't know how that works. Boba Fett, black and white, red, cool ass cover. All right, I did read this. It's from last week. Batman, Absolute Batman #12. This series is pretty crazy. Definitely worth a read. I enjoyed it. And Transformers 24, the last part of the Danny Warren Johnson part of the whole with run with Jorge Corona. Next issue is supposed to be the beginning of the new series. It's, at least they're keeping the numbering. They're not starting with another #1, which is good. If this was Marvel or DC, they probably would have started with another #1. But now Robert Kirkman's coming in with Dan Mora, and it starts with issue 25. I'm pretty sure it does, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into the dollar bin haul part. So this is actually divided by 2 weeks. Last week, when I bought like this Transformers and the Absolute Batman, I picked up 12 dollar bin haul books. So I'll show you those real quick. Ghost Rider #19, first cover appearance of this character. I forgot her name. Figured why not. This is kind of cool. This series was hot for a second, obviously. I mean, it's supposed to be like a really good series. People love the cover. They made a TV show on it. I don't know if they announced the second season, but I figured it couldn't hurt to grab it in a dollar bin. So the way my store works, if you get 12 books, it's 12 for $10. So you get 2 books for free, bringing it down to like what? 90 cents a book, 88 cents a book, I don't know. And then they had this one, which is pretty cool. Revival number 12, sorry, with the Scotty Young variant. That's kind of cool. Grommets #6. I figured I only need a couple more issues to finish this series, and I'll give it a read. Immortal Iron Fist #8. This book was such a big deal, like 2 years ago, before like Hit Monkey came out. It was just like one of these spec books. It's first appearance of some sumo wrestler character and someone else. I looked it up. It still has a little bit of value, you know? And then here's the guy on the cover. So issue 9, he has like a name, a silly name, but I'm not going to say it because I don't remember it 100%. This is pretty cool. Speaking of Danny Warren Johnson, Extremity #1. That's a pretty gnarly cover. I looked it up. This has a bit of value. That's pretty cool. I don't mind getting like first issues of Image titles, in the dollar bin because, man, you never know. It's like having a scratch off, and like one day they announce a show, and then this is now this becomes a $50 book. But who knows? I don't care. Boondock Saints #1. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought this movie was awful, and I did see the second one. The second one I appreciated because it was so silly. It knew what it was in the second one. I think it knew what it was in the first one too. But man. But I looked this up. This has a bit of value. I feel like any of these like rated R movies that are cult classics, they get put out by like indie companies, tend to have a bit of value to them. So that's pretty cool. Curse Words #1. Figured why not? I've seen this series all the time. I figured I'd pick up the #1. Gwenpool #9 and Gwenpool #24. I always like trying to get a run of these. They're always good. When you have like a bunch of issues, they resell really well. That's really cool. Gold Goblin #3. I figured why not? I always find it interesting when you see a J. Scott Campbell cover that does not have a sexy chick on the cover. Is it really a J. Scott Campbell cover if they don't have, like Mary Jane on the cover, Black Cat on the cover, Rogue on the cover? It's Gold Goblin carrying Peter Parker, kind of a recreation of, is it issue 38 of Amazing Spider-Man? Or was that 40? Maybe it's 39. It's one of them. It's right after Steve Ditko left the series and John Romita came on. It's an iconic cover. They're recreating that. I guess Gold Goblin, I kind of know a bit about it. It is like a reformed Norman Osborn, I think. This is kind of cool. I figured this would be a fun read. Deadpool Wolverine. This came out like a year ago, like when the movie came out. Art from Adam Kubert. I always enjoy that. This is pretty cool. This is regular show, Virgin variant cover, regular show #4. That's awesome. This is a great book to get. And let me tell you, like finding this in the dollar bin, and this is in really nice condition. This is like one of the better ones I found. This resells for like $20 all the time. Ghost Rider #94. So this is technically the last issue of Volume 2 of Ghost Rider. The 90s series of Ghost Rider had, what was I going to say? It just stopped. Issue 93 was the last issue in like 97, maybe? I don't know what year, 96? Around that time, they canceled the series. And it didn't have an ending. They canceled it. But back in this is like, I think 2007, they were able to finish the story with Ghost Rider #94. So there was a little bit of a pause between the two series. And this is considered part of the run, even though it's a little late. But, and again, this has a bit of value because it wasn't like heavily ordered. I think it kind of came and went. I don't think people realized it was out. Oh, and to be clear, so this was the last issue of last week's dollar bin. So now I'm beginning this week's dollar bin. I kind of was going through it. So this is the first one. And the second one, and the third one of the 36 books I got for this run of the dollar bin. All right, here we go. This is a great book to find a dollar bin. This thing's like a near mint condition. It's kind of a spec that is kind of slowed down, but because they're probably never going to do anything with this character in the movies, at least not anytime soon. This is considered like Val, I forgot his name. He was basically like in Final Crisis, Grant Morrison introduced like a black Superman in the end, and it was kind of fun. And then in issue 9 of Superman Action Comics, they kind of go more into it. They changed the look of the character. It was kind of like almost like a nod to Obama at the time, because this came out in like what? Yeah, this is 2012. But actually, because he's the president of the United States, at least in the Final Crisis one. I forgot this one. It's kind of interesting. Like this is during the Action Comics run, and he does this issue. And I remember it completely diverts from, the Superman story he was telling with the New 52. But he's Grant Morrison. He can do whatever he wants. This book blew up when they announced a potential Superman Val. Is it Val something? It's Val something. And he's like in the Earth 2 series. And there was talks of like guy from Sinners, I'm saying Ryan Coogler because he was the one that directed Black Panther, right? I don't know. I'm getting all my names screwed up. Michael B. Jordan was rumored to play this character, but I think the movie is going nowhere. But still, this is not a Dollbin book, so that's a really good find. Like if it was a beaten copy of it, then yeah, I could see it being in the Dollbin, but I'm shocked this was in there. Grimm #1, that's a fun book to get. This series was pretty big for a second. I don't know if it's like still coming out, but I figured it couldn't hurt to pick up an issue 1, check it out, see what the deal is. And then here's Grimm #1, but this is a Virgin variant. This is pretty cool. It's a, let's see if I could read this. Grimm issue 1 exclusive, cover art by Zoo or Zoo, limited to 1,000 copies worldwide, anti-hero gallery. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I thought that was a great find in the Dollbin. I mean, this is kind of a cool book. Not like it has like a ton of value, but I feel like there's some history behind it. This guy is famous for putting out, the guy who made this book, I don't know what his name, I'm going to have to pop it open. He put out like a whole like how to make comics book that was kind of famous back in the day. But this is a really nice copy. I need to get a bag and board. Zot #1. This is like one of those issues, comics, what I always see on like Amazing Heroes and one of those like comic magazines back in the day. Just kind of a cool looking, retro looking character. Indie also at the same time. It came out in 1984 and it was made by Scott McCloud. Yeah, because Zot is in, I don't know if that's his name, but Zot, the series, his character's featured in that book about making comics. So that's really cool. I thought that was a fun find for just a book. He had the whole, like pretty much the whole series in the Dollbins, but this is kind of just a goofy book. Toxic Avenger, team up with Jesus Christ. It's about damn time they did that together, you know? I was like, I sit there and I'm like, when's Toxic Avenger? When's Jesus Christ? I sit there and I go, when is Jesus Christ going to team up with the Toxic Avenger? Like, come on, guys. Get the ball going. That's pretty cool. I'm glad they were able to get Toxic Avenger in there. Punisher War Journal, Countdown, number 80. I don't know if is this the last issue of the series? I know there's a countdown, 2 countdown issues with Punisher War Journal. I don't know if it goes to 81 or 80. Let's look on the back and see if it's the last issue. When they canceled, oh, this might be the last issue because it says the end. They canceled Punisher War. They canceled Punisher War Journal, Punisher, and Punisher Warzone all at once with this countdown series. So that's pretty cool. And they have a little bit of a value, print runs being a little lower and stuff, and people just wanting to get that last issue. This is pretty cool. The book's a little messed up, but for a buck, I wasn't going to complain. Punisher 100 with this awesome Michael Golden Punisher cover. There is a heinous silver cover version of issue 100. I see that one all the time, and it's always beaten, so I never buy it. But this one looks pretty cool. And then Punisher 104, the last issue of the series of Punisher with Bullseye. That's a great find for just a buck, and that thing's in really nice condition. They did not have, I think, 102, which is the one that has that Bullseye cover, where he's on the cover by himself. And it's like a crazy drawing. That one goes for like, that's like a $50 to $100 book, which is pretty weird. That wasn't in there, unfortunately. That would have been a good find. Fathom #1, Michael Turner, and Michael Turner Fathom Wizard #0. That's pretty cool. All right. Got about half left to go. Spider-Man MTU, Marvel Team Up. This is the Robert Kirkman years when he was with Marvel. And this is Spider-Man teaming up with X-23 when she's still in that heinous outfit. They introduced her when she was in the X-Men comics. It's the heinous Wolverine costume. No, they did not have, is it number 8? There was a gap. They had pretty much every issue except for 3 and 4, and whatever the Invincible issue is. That's a very expensive book. That would have been an amazing find in the Dollbin. But I'll take a #1, and I'll take a #2. 2 is a key issue. This is the first, appearance, I think, of the Tony Stark that becomes the Doctor Doom character. This book picked up with when they announced Robert Downey Jr. was going to be Doctor Doom. This series picked up. I don't think Dave said this is the exact same character or anything. That's a sick cover. That looks really cool. That is, hands down, one of the cooler covers I've seen, I always like that one, so I'm happy to grab that. This is kind of interesting. So Red Hood #51. They only had, one in there. This is one of the variants. I saw this last sold for $18, like literally like 2 days ago. It the variant covers on Red Hood, and some of the Nightwing too. They have they have a value depending on the cover. So that's pretty crazy. I picked this one up. I thought this would be a good get. Dawn #1, from Sirius. What's his name? Michael Linzer. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I looked this up. This has a bit of value too. Heroes Illustrated Special, X-Files, supplement to so this was included with the magazine. It's pretty cool. You could draw your favorite X-Files character on there if you want. Battle of the Planets, Thundercats, with an awesome J. Scott Campbell cover. I thought that'd be a pretty cool get, and I did because I bought it. Transformers Spotlight Hot Rod. That's a cool cover. This is cover B. They had a whole bunch of IDW Transformer issues. This is pretty cool. This had like a last sold of like 20. Transformers the Animated Movie #1, 20th Anniversary Edition. And I didn't see they had #2. I don't know how many issues this went to, if it's 3 or 4. It's not a reprint of the Marvel miniseries. It's like new content, a new version. I don't know. I thought those were cool. And then this one, it's not in the greatest condition at all. Even though a good presser could probably fix this book, even though it has a tear in it. But man, this is an amazing score in the dollar bin. Transformers 78 in a newsstand. This is the third to last issue of the series, so 79, 80, 81. So technically 3 more issues, right? Yeah, 3 more issues after this. So this is technically 4th to the... Those books are, excuse me, very hard to get. I almost like for a second passed on this, but then I saw the number and I was like, oh no, I'm getting this. This is like towards the end of the run. And the same thing with like G.I. Joe, like the last 5 issues of the series, starting with like 150, all of a sudden they go from like, people try getting like $100 for them. This thing was in better condition. It definitely would demand more. Happy to get this though. That's really awesome. This is a pretty good book to get. I was shocked. It's Monstrous #1. That's awesome. I looked prices like $30 to $60. That's crazy. And you know, actual sales, not just people wanting it. Justice League Unlimited, Cartoon Network, as seen on Cartoon Network. Any of these kids books from this time period, I will pick them up. They're hard to come by, especially in good condition. That's awesome to get. Speaking of Marvin the Martian Manhunter, this is one of those fun, when they did the Looney Tunes teaming up with the DC characters. So Marvin the Martian Manhunter versus Marvin the Martian. There's a new Martian in town. Whoa. It's like Marvin just showed up as a guest on You Love Comic Books. You want to take over, Marvin? No, I'm not. Oh, no, you don't? All right. Sorry, guys. He's gone. He left. That's awesome to get. This is a good book to get. This is in great condition. Superman for All Seasons. It's a 4-issue series, each based on season. So it starts with spring, I'll assume summer, fall, and winter. Happy to get this. I sold my copies so this was like one of the books that was considered inspiration for the Superman movie, which the James Gunn one that came out in July. I thought that was a great movie. I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. Superman should be an enjoyable character to watch in the movies, not something miserable. Happy to get this. Really good condition, and for just $1. Now, these are pretty cool. Almost done. Warlock and Infinity Watch number 39. 40. Again. And then the last issue of the series. They did not have 41. I mean, I'm going to take another peek when I go back there and see if they do. But issue 42 is the last issue of the series. That's a great get. It's in decent condition. I mean, you know, it's in the dial bin. This is like usually like a $15 to $20 book easily. So happy to grab that. This one could have been better, but it is a first print. So I was going to get it anyway, no matter what. Batman, Dark Knight Falls. If someone used this, if you can see it in the light. Let's see. Someone used this as a coaster at one point, which that person should be sent to the moon. Dare you disgrace a comic by using it as a coaster, you fool. Batman, The Dark Knight Falls. issue 4, first print. I wasn't gonna buy it, but then I saw it was a first printing, and I was like, all right, I'll get it because they made a lot of printings of this run. Fun fact about this comic or graphic novel: this issue came out very late, from what I know. There was a long gap between issue 3 and 4. And I think people were bothered by that a lot back in the day. I mean, you got to figure 1986 is when this came out, or maybe this came out in 87, maybe, because of the delay. I mean, maybe I can imagine. I'm pretty sure. I know that the sequel series had a massive delay. They used 9/11 as an excuse for that. Supposedly there was some stuff they had to change, but I was like, really? It was delayed a very long time. And that series was no good. The Dark Knight Strikes. But I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm mixing the two, but I'm pretty sure this was delayed too. Awesome comic, amazing story, worth reading. The legendary Superman versus Batman, which doesn't that look like the witch from a Looney Tunes cartoon? But the one that like tries to get Bugs Bunny. And Frank Miller would look at it and be like, nah, I was drawing Dingles. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a great find to get. This is an awesome find. It's like a fine condition copy. I was shocked. This was like one of the first books I saw and I was like, all right, I'm looking through everything now. Wolverine number 27 in Newsstand. This is a great book to get. This is not a dollar bin book by far. But I have found it in the dollar bin. I think people just don't realize it. It's this Wolverine cover. It's super iconic. It was used for a video game for Nintendo that came out like around the same time period. That version of Wolverine, this art is on there. It's interesting. The Wolverine series, like the volume, not the miniseries, but the ongoing first series, when you look at, you get the most of the series for pretty cheap. Like issue 1 has value. Issue 8 has a lot of value with that's the Hulk on the cover, that famous one. Issue 10 is that famous Sabretooth cover, the Sabretooth story. That one's always was a big deal. Let's see what else. 17 has that awesome John Byrne. This cover. And then after that, not really anything else until you get to 88 with Deadpool. And then you skip, like 154, the Deadpool issues as well. Now there's a bunch of like variants that had some issues, like not variants but like misprints and stuff like that, and those have value. I don't know, but that's a great book to get. All right, last 3 comics for this haul. Do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't done so already, leave a comment if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. All right, Shadow of the Bat number 83, first appearance, not the first appearance of Cassandra Cain. That's Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 120, which I grabbed 2 copies of. These are in excellent condition. And this is her first appearance in the costume in No Man's Land. It's kind of interesting. This version of Batgirl, I remember when they released this costume, people were like, holy crap. Like, it's just really cool looking. She kind of looks like a ninja a little bit. The covered eyes. It was Huntress that wore this costume first. But then eventually it went to Cassandra Cain. So that's really cool. Happy to grab that. So yeah, this was an awesome haul. I mean, again, these are great books to get. Like I said, a lot of amazing stuff in the dollar bins. I was there for a while. I had another stack, but I gotta limit it. If it's still there, I'll grab some of them, but I can't buy everything. It's like money wise is one thing, but another thing is just like, I intend to flip a bunch of these. Most of these will be if not now, some point. But you can only flip so quickly. You can only do that so quickly, depending on what you got, It's super hot. Something like this, I'll put this in. This will be gone within a couple of days. This always sells. People love this comic. That's a fact. So, yeah, this was a great haul. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, smash that bell for notifications. Check out the links in all my videos. First one is from my Instagram, where I post stuff from the haul, stuff from my collection. And check out my eBay, where I sell comics, trades, toys, video games, vintage tees, and more. You're going to see a previous video here. You're going to see a previous video there. You smash the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.